What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome, Moses here, and today I'm bringing you a sort of a concept slash template build idea, and we're going to start talking about it. So basically, I've made quite a few builds in the Soul Found 3.3 Incursion League, and this is my most recent one. Now, I've finally reached the limitation of what Soul Found can actually achieve. I'm trying to, kind of like push the ideas to the limit, and this time around I decided to go with an attack skill CI build. I know these are not very popular, at least I haven't seen anyone running any attack skill CI build, but the last experience with the Poet's Pen Occultist kind of led me to think that perhaps we can achieve it, and I found this weapon and I decided to kind of like make a build around it with the Occultist as well. So Essentia Sanguis, which apparently in Latin means the essence of blood, is a energy shield attack build based type weapon that gives us life leech applied to energy shield instead. So with this type of weapon we don't need to use Ghost Reaver. We basically get the Ghost Reaver for free, so that saves us a couple of points, but we don't get the downside of the less energy shield recharge rate simply because it doesn't exist here on this weapon. This weapon also gives us up to 40 maximum energy shield, pretty good physical damage, big flat lightning damage, and some attack speed. And I was able to get with the corruption power charge on kill, frenzy charge on kill and power charge on critical strike, which is how we generate our power charges in this build. But there are other ways to get power charges if you don't have this type of corrupted weapon. Now, I was saying that this is basically where the build kind of like hits the kind of a brick wall, because I'm not in a trade league and certain items here are kind of hard to get. The big problem, I would say, or one of the problems that this build comes across is accuracy. Accuracy is kind of a big deal. I went with Spectral Throw, and getting Spectral Throw to shine really requires a lot of abyssal jewels, and with a lot of flat elemental damage, that what would really make this build kind of like take a couple of steps further and be as strong as I want it to be. But you know what? Let's just go through what we currently have, and then we kind of like run a map at tier 10, and you guys can see the build in action. So basically, I'm using the same incandescent heart since we are CI and we get that elemental reduction. This is an excellent, you know, body armor for a CI build. We get that elemental damage reduction, 25% basically mitigated completely. Elemental as extra chaos damage. We are converting 90% of our physical damage to elemental, and we're getting a lot of elemental damage from the weapons, so 18% as extra chaos, which is huge. And armor energy shield basically is what we're getting here. So let's go through the sockets. We are using Val Spectral Throw. I failed to get one from the temple corrupted with quality. Quality will give it, again, we're soul self-found, so we got to work with what we get. So 20% quality on this one will give us 10% increased attack speed, and attack speed for Spectral Throw is pretty huge. So again, some limits. Attack speed, Spectral Throw, Val Spectral Throw with GMP, with physical to lightning for the additional 50% conversion. Added lightning damage, elemental damage with attacks, and increased critical strikes. For single target, we swap GMP for slower projectiles. And that's kind of like how the setup goes. It is kind of a little bit annoying to swap every time you go into an encounter and you want to kill the map boss and all that stuff, but you know, slower projectiles does work, as well as Val Spectral Throw allows to really boost our DPS. It charges up to 3 times, so you have 3 of these charges. You can stock them up and then just blast, you know, essence mobs and bosses and all that kind of stuff. For the rest of the links, I am running just an energy shield helmet here with you know, resists that I needed. We got Enlighten, Herald of Ice, Discipline, and Herald of Thunder. Without Enlighten, we will still be able to maintain, but I just kind of had this free slot, so I thought, hey, why not get a little bit of extra mana? Since we are running CI, we cannot, what we would normally do in an attack build, we will attach 45 faster attack swirling blade. We'll attach our movement skill to a blood magic, but we can't run blood magic because only 1 life, won't work. So a little bit of extra mana allows us to whirling blade in maps with less regen and such, maybe even no regen maps as well. Will allow us to dash a little bit of extra. Immortal Call with cast when damage taken. Projectile weakness will be applied later when I do my Uber Lab, but for now it's just elemental weakness. Alternatively, you could run defensive curses, but yeah. So elemental weakness with cast when damage taken. Immortal Call at the moment. Projectile weakness we're going to be attaching with the Blasphemy. Later on, and we got some flame dash, and we're still leveling up the blasphemy. The second weapon I'm using is Hand of Wisdom in action, which gives us well, big flat elemental damage per 10 intelligence and attack speed per 25 dexterity, as well as increased int, increased dex, as well as elemental damage and attacks. Slower projectiles, because I'm swapping, so it's kind of comfortable for me here. Blood Rage and Ice Golem. Ice Golem actually kind of helps a lot with the accuracy. As you can see, it's 83%, and that's with the Ice Golem. So we're down to 80%, and in a crit build, again, it's kind of tough to get that kind of accuracy. You want to get a little bit of extra accuracy. Ideally, like in a trade league, it's not going to be a problem at all. You can just get, you know, I don't know, up to 400 accuracy on like items like helmet and gloves. You can get like easy 300, 250 over here and over here on like rings. On an amulet, it's pretty easy to get accuracy on gear. For a build like this that really needs it, normally you would want to have at least 90% chance to hit, and you can really see it, like the damage really suffers a lot, especially crits. I mean, if you want to have consistent crits, you want to have consistent hits. So that's kind of like where the build falls off, and that's kind of like the problem, and that's why I think I won't be playing and trying to level up this build too much, and kind of like give you guys the build as an like an idea, you know, kind of like a concept. When it comes to leveling up this character, by the way, I was destroying stuff with double poet spends, you know, without even specking too much into any kind of spell nodes, because I am in so self-found and I was super low on regrets the entire time. That's why scours are pretty low as well, but poet spend do an amazing job. I just chucked in magma orb, combustion, and slow projectiles, as well as firestorm, combustion, elemental focus on both of these, and just breeze through the entire game. This destroys everything without any type of investment into your you know, spell damage and all sorts of spell scaling, you know, nodes on the tree too much. This was just basically able to destroy everything, because Poet Spends for leveling is pretty broken. You can equip them from level 12, you get Firestorm at level 12, Magma Orb from level 1, and you just run with it the entire day. But of course, from Magma Orb, we are using the Threshold Jewel, and just mention that real quickly. Oh, that's Hebrew. Magma Orbs. So these are called Inevitability. That allows you to get an additional projectile. So yeah, you get 3 additional projectiles, and this absolutely shits on everything the game has to offer, from clearing to endgame to, you know, bossing and all that sort of stuff. I was basically using my Poet Spend's gear, so we have this and the rings and the amulet and the belt. They're all used from the previous CI character, because really it's kind of hard to find good CI items. So again, we're missing a lot of potential damage that in a trade league we would easily be able to get, you know, at least big flat elemental damage to attacks, if not increased elemental damage to attacks. You know, Ed was on both these type of rings. I tried to get some accuracy here. It does add a couple of extra percentage. But yeah, crit multi on an amulet would go a long way. Crit chance, we kind of did manage to get this one. I actually exalted this one, and we were using that for the Poet Spend, so feels pretty good. But yeah, missing a lot of elemental damage with attacks, missing a lot of crit multi and all that kind of stuff. You know, you would be able to get just straight up better stuff that would just make the damage go a couple of steps forward. And without it, the build is not great at its current form. But I just wanted to kind of like showcase this weapon. I think it has great potential. Additionally, initially I tried dual wielding these, but I saw that I actually have quite a bit of extra damage from Hua, and decided to go ahead with that. And yes, it does give some extra damage, especially because we don't really have too much increased elemental damage with attack skills, and this weapon does give it, as well as the big flat lightning damage that we are missing, because, well, I don't really have too much in terms of, you know, jewels and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the tree. We are Witch. What I would recommend, if you are deciding in Trade League and you got some items for that, some time to spare, it's really, this build really has a lot of potential. So as for leveling, I would recommend grabbing Wicked Ward and Val Bastion first. What I did, I thought it would be easier for me to level up, but you know, with taking Profane Bloom for the extra clear, for the extra Chaos Explosion and whatnot, but that turned out to be quite a big mistake, because I did Cruel Lab pretty easily, but Merciless trying to get Val Bastion actually was just on the verge of impossible, because I was super low on, you know, at that point, Izaro on Merciless, even with the double Poet Spin, I was lacking damage. And since I did not spec into Mind Over Matter because I wanted to save on regrets, because, you know, so found kind of low on materials, I ended up just straight up dying to get, like, just got one-shotted with about 2.5k HP and no other defensive mechanism. Izaro's, you know, Izaro's lady projectiles just basically 1 to 2 shot you, so it was very, very hard to accomplish. What I ended up doing was doing normal lab, which actually gave me this, which is kind of silly, but that's what I ended up doing. And then I respect into Energy Shield, and yeah, when I did Merciless, I also got the fastest Merciless clear, so I also got another Emperor's Might in the Soul Found. It's kind of funny, first time I actually see these, I didn't know they even existed, but then, you know, people told me that's kind of like what you get, that's your reward for super fast clearing. That's kind of a little bit of a unexpected treat, but hey, we got it, so we're fast. Yeah, so anyways, so what I ended up doing was I went and I did normal lab. I spent 10 regrets, respect into Wicked Ward instead of Profane Bloom, and then I had Vile Bastion from... sorry, I spec'd into Vile Bastion, which allows the transition to CI. I leveled up all the way to 70 to be able to equip the body armor in the Blood Aqueducts, and yeah, I was able to transform into CI. I did these two, and once you have that, CI is possible. So we respect, I equip the weapon, we transition to CI, and things were looking okay because we were doing the story and stuff was dying. But when I reached maps, I started seeing that, you know, the accuracy is a bit low, the damage is a little lacking because we are missing a lot of elemental damage with attacks and a lot of abyssal jewels to make a spectral throw build work. But you know, so yeah, but let's still go over the tree. We are starting as a witch. Like after we respec, we just go into all these energy shield nodes, go up, grab a little jewel socket. Dark arts actually gives you quite a bit of attack speed, so I ended up going in here. That's 12 and 8, that's 20% increased attack speed as well as some dexterity. Into a natural calm for the extra energy shield. Of course, CI. Eventually, we are currently level 81, so eventually we'll go into these crit nodes, melding with all the energy shield going on over there. If you have, I had one energy from within, so I'm able to convert all these life nodes of shadow into energy shield. If you have another energy from within in a trade league, you can totally put it here, and then you'll get 3, 3, 3, that's 9, and then 6 more, that's 15% increased energy shield. So that's kind of big. You can totally do that in trade league. I just have the one, and over here we're getting 25% because these are 6 nodes and an 8 and an additional 5 that we're getting from this node. Originally is 5% increased max life, now turns into energy shield, so that's kind of a big chunk. It's about 501 exactly, actually, energy shield we're only getting from this jewel alone here. So yeah, after you go and get that, there's obviously more energy shield nodes, but I mean, surprisingly, with the energy from within jewel, we're able to get a lot of energy shield from that. So I mean, I decided to just go into as much damage nodes as I could get because the character is lacking with damage. You're going to be able to see that. So yeah, we are claws, so we're grabbing the claws, magpie, soul raker as well for the crit and for the leech, and all that kind of stuff. These basically just increase physical damage. Something you don't really want to scale, but of course it does help. But mostly the big attack speed is what we're trying to get here, and attack speed with Spectral Throw makes it feel really good, which is why we're also grabbing 12% attack speed over here for just 2 points. Seems worth. Claws of the Pride gives a bit of accuracy as well as crit and some attack speed as well, some energy shield, Force of Nature for the elemental and the elemental damage penetration, and then we go down all the way to the Winter Spirit for the extra conversion, because we do use Physical Lightning for 50% of that physical into lightning, and then additional cold conversion for some shatters, some chilling, and for extra elemental damage scaling. And only then, very late in the tree, we're going to point black, which actually makes a huge difference. You know, it's a 50% more multiplier. I was immediately able to see the difference, and yeah. But still, it's still very hard to, you know, even kill what I do now. I don't even kill architects. It's that bad of a single target right now. I don't even try to kill the architects. I get into the incursions and I just basically kill, you know, just the trash, and I get out of there. So no temple progress for this character right now at level 81. So yeah, at level 84 we'll be able to get Primeval Force for the extra elemental and penetration, 86, 87 for the Heartseeker Jewel Socket, and then 90 Throat Seeker, and then 93 Arcing Blows. And you know, that's basically where the build ends, but I think, but if you want, of course, you can push even further with a build like this. You can get crackling speed, you can go into more energy shield nodes, you can even go into the you know, extra lightning damage. There's a lot of room to play with. And note that in this character I opted to go for helping Alera, so there is, you know, again, trade league, the resists are not going to be that hard to get, and you know, 20% crit multi is pretty nice, but basically I went for Lyra just for the resist, not for the crit multi, which is something you could pretty easily get on jewels and such. So yeah, a lot of flat elemental damage would make huge difference to the build, and that's basically all I have to say, except yeah, Flasks, we got the Basalt for the extra physical damage reduction, the double tapping with Aziri's Promise. You can easily get a better rolled one with, you know, 15 elemental and 20 physical. Shouldn't be too expensive. The Diamond Flask, because we are crit and we want to be lucky with that. Some extra physical as cold, as well as some defenses here. And a warding flask for the removal. We got the heat, we got the staunching, we got the warding. These are basically the three removals that you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go kill some monsters in the orchard. Grab our golem, although he will die. I will try and keep him alive as much as I can. So yeah, you get into the map, you turn on Blood Rage, pop in the flasks, and yeah, I mean, stuff dies. It's not the most, you know, it's not the most clear speed you'll ever see, but you know, for a Soul Self-Found character, for a weapon like this that I wanted to make a build around, I'm actually pretty happy with the clear that we're getting here, with the you know, with the level of damage again that we can make with the little gear that I have for a character like this. I mean, again, jewels will make a huge difference. We still don't have our Ascendancy, so we can have an additional curse, of course, and more energy shield, more tankiness. But I mean, nothing can really kill us. This is Val. You can see the little circly thing that's going on. That's Val Spectral throw. We're kind of like just running around, killing stuff. Soon we're gonna level up, and that's kind of like what I've been doing, just trying to clear trash. The majority of yesterday. The character is pretty young. I mean, we're still only level 81, and I mean, it's been pretty fun to play. But it's a bit disappointing because I can't really make a character like this work in a Soul Self-Found setting, which is really unfortunate because I really do believe that this build has some potential, and like having a CI based, you know, oh, Karki Jackie. So having a CI based attack character actually feels like incredibly tanky. You have the leech. You know, let's go and just enter it. You have the leech. It works very, very well with a weapon like this. You do have a lot of elemental damage potential, and yeah. So, and I mean, it's kind of a fun character to play, but again, kind of like unfortunate that I wasn't able to make something like this really work. In the emergencies, we do put our, you know, Val Discipline when we're surrounded, and then we instantly start regenerating, and yeah. And we're popping the Val Spectral Throw for a little circular action, for a little bit of extra damage. Again, it's not the Spectral, it's not the like, we're not attacking here with the it's not the Poet's Spend level of clearing and single target and all, but I think it definitely has its room, and this character definitely has some potential for you know, for some endgame content if you're gearing it properly, if you're playing in a trade league where, you know, more energy shield is easier to get, the accuracy is going to be a lot easier to get, better abyssal jewels with you know, better abyssal jewels with a lot more flat damage. So all these things actually end up making a huge difference, and I was just, as much as I tried crafting and all, just kind of hard to get on a character like this in Soul Self-Found. But hey, maybe next league we'll do a trading league experience, and I can make this build, you know, back to life, bring it back to life. Also, potentially, with Chevron's chest, 6-link chevrons would still be very, very good. We'll be able to reserve some of our blood into, you know, with blood magic for some more aura and reservation needs, and be able to have a lot of energy shield. Although this body armor is excellent, preventing a lot of chaos damage, and yeah, but maybe a low life variant would be pretty cool with the cannot be stunned node of the occultist. Can make up a nice low life variant as well. But yeah, for now this was the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it's not really able to kill anything particularly strong, but hey, we are playing SSF, and this is only a level 80, well, 2 character, so I mean we have our limits. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye, friends.